Hey guys, Pitch Black Sensei here, the most consistent YouTuber on the platform. That's not even funny, by the way. Like, for context, the last time I posted, you could actually see dislikes on videos.
Where you going? I'm
Going to remove dislikes from YouTube.
So it's been about 2 weeks since Pokemon Legends Arceus was released, and anyone who follows me on Twitter will probably know this, but I have been extremely disconnected from the Pokemon franchise since Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were announced. Yeah, that didn't go too well.
Oh, it's happening! It's happening! It's happening!
We're eating it
All right, let's see. It's happening. Oh, it's happening! Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, it does surprise me how they managed to just give away probably the most anticipated Pokemon game to a support studio. So I was pretty curious to see what was up with Legends Arceus. You know, what project was worth ruining the Gen 4 remakes for? And now that the game has been out for a while and I have had a chance to play it, to my surprise, this is a great Pokemon game. Like, one of the best Pokemon games we have had in a long time. We'll discuss my opinions more in detail as we go on, but as far as I can tell, the general reception for this game has been overly positive. But obviously, since this is the internet, there are going to be people with just bad opinions. And today we're going to be reacting to some of these just god-awful, terrible opinions, and we'll also discuss my opinions as we go on. So yeah, let's jump straight into it and make fun of people for having different opinions. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to react to the big one first. Pokemon Legends is the worst game ever. Let's see what Verlisify has to say, everyone's favorite Pokemon creator. Let's see what he has to say about these games.
I don't understand why people are getting so mad at me over Pokemon Legends.
Well, people are not very fond of you because you're always starting drama and have the most clickbaity titles. Like, even here, you have... I mean... would you really be surprised if people weren't too fond of you? I wouldn't.
So the very beginning of the game is stupid and doesn't make any sense because Arceus just decides to send you back in time, and the Arc phone exists because your modern smartphone got transformed just because, and then Arceus just kind of like beams you text messages that walk you through the entire game just because.
Okay, I'll give him that. Like, I do kind of understand where he's coming from here, but the entire point of the game is, if you've played it, and spoilers ahead, but the final boss Volo hints that Arceus sent you back in time on purpose to stop him particularly.
And don't worry, beating the game doesn't give you any more answers.
You don't even need to beat the game. Like, I haven't reached the final mission where you catch Arceus. If you just battle Volo, you will, if you just spend a few seconds reading the dialogue, you'll understand why Arceus sent you back in time. It's not that hard to understand.
Are you able to do like these cool setups like in Breath of the Wild to where you can effectively just play however you want? No, there's not enough foundation to Pokemon Legends to give you any freedom to do anything interesting inside the game.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have personally not played Breath of the Wild, but Legends Arceus gives you a lot of freedom to explore. I mean, once the cutscenes are over, in between the cutscenes, once you're done with the setup phase, you can pretty much do whatever you want. And these areas are so huge. You know, when we had this whole speculation of an open world Pokemon game, I wasn't expecting it to be as open world as Legends Arceus actually ended up being. And so I was really happy with how open world the experience actually is. So yeah, I just don't understand this argument that the game is not open world enough or the areas are not open world enough. If I'm allowed to be nitpicky here, I do have one complaint here. It's that traveling between the different regions is quite a pain. Like, you have to go back to Jubilife Village and then select where to go next. Like, you can't seamlessly transition between the areas, and that was kind of a pain. But aside from that, I think the open world experience is great, and I genuinely don't get this argument of people complaining that it's not open world enough.
The problem with social media and modern society is that people are completely unable to admit when they were wrong. And they will just...
Sounds like a YouTuber that I have heard of plenty of times before. I'm not gonna say any names, but take that as you will.
The way that Pokemon Legends was advertised is completely different to what the game is. It was so dishonestly marketed that should be red flags right there. And then when you get into it, it's like, oh, this is the same Pokemon game that we have had for the last...
Okay, so I feel this has a bit more weight coming from me since I was extremely critical of Legends Arceus when the trailers first announced. I was talking to Anvik, I was talking to Hybrid, and I was extremely critical of these games. I was not impressed when I first saw them, and I was genuinely not expecting to enjoy these games. But then Hybrid was just hyping me up when the game finally came out, and he was like, dude, you gotta play this game. Like, you have to play this game. And I very reluctantly went into this game, and I honestly enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So I don't get this point of it being disappointing. If anything, I would expect people to be disappointed by the trailers of this game and then go into this game and actually enjoy it a lot more.
Oh god, I didn't even talk about the Hisuian designs being awful. The new Pokemon designs are awful. Like, the franchise is called Pokemon. If the new creatures being added into the game are bad, that actually makes the game worse.
Okay, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Verlisify here, but gotta give him this. I can't argue with that. I mean, some of the Pokemon are pretty decent, but yeah, the majority of new Hisuian forms, I do not like them. But yeah, that was his final verdict. We're gonna leave it at that, and let's move on to... Okay, so we got another big one. We're gonna be reacting to Jesus himself.
Maybe I'd read more Marvel comics if they had some hentai issues. Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'll go ahead and put my meat on the table right away. I think the Pokemon games for the last 6 or 7 years have been really lazy. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, a blatant disrespectful cash grab, and Sword and Shield to me is the worst the series has ever been.
Okay, I agree with the BDSP thing. I don't want to talk about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Listen, as a Gen 4 fan, it hurts, okay? It fucking hurts. But I guess this is kind of an unpopular opinion to have, but I think Sword and Shield were pretty decent Pokemon games. Now, I don't absolutely love them or anything like that, but I genuinely don't think that Sword and Shield deserved as much hate as they actually received. But yeah, I agree with the Brilliant Diamond thing, just 100%. Let's just forget that those games even exist. Gen 4 never got a remake.
So let's just go ahead and get into it. I want to get all my compliments out of the way right now.
Nah, we're not here for compliments. Start the fucking hate, come on.
It looks like this is the Pokemon world after it just experienced 3 nuclear winters. Everything is so barren and lifeless. The Pokemon that inhabit it, you can only ever see like 3 at any given time because the draw distance is such dog shit. And all they do is stand there waiting for you to throw a Pokeball at them or ask them to battle with you.
Okay, I do kind of agree that the open world looks pretty bland, but I think the Pokemon themselves have quite a bit of personality. I feel like some of them are aggressive, some of them run away from you, some of them just stay there, some of them chase you. So like, I know it's not in a scale that it could have been, but I think that this is a step up, and I feel I was genuinely impressed with the just way the open world functioned and the Pokemon functioned. I do agree with the draw distancing though, so...
And every single zone in this game is identical to the first zone. The actual zones don't switch up other than just having snow on the ground sometimes, or where they're placing their water. Everything else is the same. The exact same terrain that you keep exploring, the only difference is the Pokemon that inhabit it.
Okay, I half agree with this, but I think the 2 things that he mentioned, that the only 2 things that change are either the snow on the ground or the sand in the beaches and the Pokemon. Those 2 are the things that define the place. So I mean, I don't know what I'm saying, honestly. It sounded way better in my mind.
But what I didn't appreciate was the game spitting in my mouth with the research system. That shit just felt like I was getting a wedgie or like getting a fucking swirly in the high school locker room. I hated it. It was fucking grueling. And you have to get a certain amount of stars in the research system to progress the main story. You have to battle them using certain types. You have to see them using certain moves. And you have to defeat them in certain ways or at certain times, and it just made it such a chore. Like I said, I think the idea is there, it's just so basic and so not fun in the game right now.
Okay, so about the research thing, I honestly think that was probably the best part of the game because you got to explore so much. It was kind of encouraging you to explore. It didn't happen all the time, but there were a couple of times when I finished all the main stuff in the area and then I go back and I cannot progress to the next mission because I do not have enough stars. But that's kind of the point to make you keep researching, you know. They want to encourage you to explore the world and catch new Pokemon and see Pokemon do a certain thing. The reason you're doing that is because you are making the world's first Pokedex, right? So you don't have enough knowledge about the Pokemon yet. This is a world where people don't have that knowledge of Pokemon yet. So in the lore of the game, when you see those moves and you write them down, that's when you're actually researching that, okay, this type of Pokemon is weak to this type of Pokemon is strong to this. And so it works like conceptually. Oh, I just hit my mic. It works conceptually speaking for the game, and it makes sense as to why it's there. I'll give him that it can be kind of tedious at points, but overall, I think I never really had such a huge issue with doing the research because I was exploring anyway, so my Pokedex was getting filled up really quick.
And let me tell you, the main quest line is horrible. The story is so trash, even by Pokemon standards. I really wouldn't be surprised if this was written by the director's illiterate 4-year-old or something. Like, it is so bafflingly silly, nothing even connects. It's barely even coherent. By the end of the game, you're scratching your head wondering what the fuck is happening and why.
I genuinely don't understand. The story was... Okay, I'm not gonna say it was the greatest story ever. It wasn't some fucking Godfather level story, but it wasn't bad. I mean, like, compared to Sword and Shield, compared to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I mean, this was a very good story.
So plugging Pokemon Legends Arceus into the Moist Meter, I'm giving it a 60%. Like I said, I did enjoy it significantly more than Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and I do think it's the right step for the Pokemon franchise. They're definitely going in the right direction.
So, I mean, at least we can agree on that. I do think it's a good step conceptually, and while I enjoyed it personally way more than seemingly Charlie and Verlisify did, I still do, again, have complaints with the game, which I will get into shortly. But yeah, I mean, this is how you put your opinions. I think Verlisify should learn a thing or two. So yeah, no hate by the way, Charlie. I still love you, and I would love you if you could react to this video. And so moving on, there's Gireum. He's great channel, by the way. I enjoy a lot of his videos, even though I usually don't agree with a lot of his opinions. Still enjoyable, and let's get into this one.
Hello fellow Jerrycans. Pokemon Legends Arceus if you're British and Pokemon Legends Arceus if you're American is finally out. I've played the game for about 7 hours, so I thought I'll make a quick first impressions video. So just a heads up, this is not a full review. A lot of Poketubers on YouTube say it's the best Pokemon game in a while. Possibly the best Pokemon game since Black and White 2. And I'm not enjoying this game. I don't think it's quite good. It's pretty boring. It's not for me. It's just another half-baked game with good ideas rushed out by Game Freak that needed more time of development. Have you ever noticed that not a single goddamn NPC moves in this town? No one have walking animation cycles or have idle animation.
What the fuck? Wait, is that for what? No fucking way, bro.
Everyone just stands around like fucking weeping angel statues. What the hell is this? This is creepy. It makes everyone feel like signposts, not characters.
I cannot believe I played this game for like 30 hours and I did not notice that not a single character walks outside of cutscenes. That is... Damn, that is actually crazy.
Anyways, in Breath of the Wild, exploring Hyrule is fun because the world is littered with puzzle shrines, Korok seeds, boss battles, treasure boxes, and more, right? Well, in this game, the only thing to discover is Pokemon, boss Pokemon called Alpha Pokemon, some random items littering the floor, and that's it. I really think they should have had at least treasure chests around the world or something to discover other than Pokemon.
I mean, okay, as someone who has explored a lot of this game, like I have reached, I think, the ends of every single map. I do agree with the lack of towns, but that's kind of because this is a very early version of the Sinnoh region. And just mentioning a little Easter egg here, if you explore a lot, you will discover locations that were originally in the Sinnoh region in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, and you can tell by the music that's playing, those are just remastered versions of the original tracks. Like for example, Eterna Forest, and there are a bunch of other areas where you know that you are in that said area from Pokemon Platinum. So again, exploration in this game was really fun in my opinion. I never, felt like I was running out of space to explore or there wasn't enough for me to explore. I don't know, man. Am I just too biased? Is that the issue here? I don't get it. I actually don't get it.
Anyway, that's my thoughts on Legends Arceus. Even though the lore and setting of the game is really interesting and the catching mechanic is intricate, the game's world feels empty, the town is a dreadful mess, the side quests are boring, and the whole game just gets redundant after like an hour, and it's a chore to play.
Because here's the thing, because the whole reason there aren't enough settlements in this area is because this is kind of like the Attack on Titan version of Pokemon, where humans are afraid of Pokemon and they don't usually go out into the outside world except, some people from the Survey Corps, and and it literally says Cervicops, by the way. That's kind of the reason for the lack of human settlement, and it's only when that bond between humans and Pokemon grows, that's when people start to, I guess, head out and, catch Pokemon and befriend Pokemon. That's where the lore of the games come from. Okay, I just want to mention quickly the IGN Italy review here. I mean, with this one, I don't exactly want to react to it because I understand a lot of the points that they're making. I just don't agree with them to the extent that's mentioned in the article. I do think they bring up a lot of reasonable points, but again, I think 5 out of 10 is a very fucking bad rating for these games. Actually, I want to see what IGN Italy had to say about something like, I don't know, Sword and Shield or just the previous Pokemon games. Hold up. What the fuck? Okay, so you're telling me they gave a 7 out of 10 to BDSP and 5 out of 10 to Legends Arceus? Yeah, they've lost it. That's just what this is. So I found this real life clickbait article which starts off with Game Freak makes the worst Pokemon games. When I look at all my favorite Pokemon games, none of them were made by Game Freak. Well, your opinions are just bad. I don't know what to say. Pokemon Go was developed by Niantic, Colosseum, Pokemon XD were developed by Genius Sonority. If you enjoyed Pokemon Go was fucking terrible. Let's be real. It was fun for 2 days and it just got boring after that. I genuinely don't get this person. Okay, so this is just a Pokemon fan who's upset with Game Freak, which is not an unpopular opinion to have by any means, but I don't know. I don't get it. I think this person, honestly, I've not said this for anyone on this video so far. Okay, maybe except Verlis, but this person just has terrible opinions. I don't know what else to say. Here's another article, and I'm just realizing it's by the same person who wrote the previous article. Legends Arceus has terrible graphics, and we should all keep saying it. Okay, starting out extremely strong. Pokemon is the highest grossing video game franchise of all time. At 90 billion, Pokemon has made 3 times as much as Mario, 5 times as much as Call of Duty, blah blah blah. They also put out the worst looking AAA games of all time. Okay, so I kind of hate this entire argument about Pokemon being the highest grossing media franchise of all time, and whenever people bring that up to hate on the graphics, it doesn't make sense. So I found this article which pretty much goes to show Pokemon's net profit for 5 years before the release of Pokemon Go. And so before Pokemon Go, the Pokemon franchise was earning about $5 to $20 million of profits every year for the 5 years before Pokemon Go. And a lot of that profit doesn't go directly to Game Freak. It goes to most of it to Nintendo because Nintendo is the majority shareholder in Pokemon. Now on paper it's a 33% split between Game Freak, Nintendo and Creatures Inc. But that's without mentioning that Nintendo owns an undisclosed amount of shares of Creatures Inc. So Nintendo is really the one making the most amount of money here, and I'm assuming Nintendo is the one that makes most of the financial decisions and the decisions relating to deadlines and all the important stuff. And again, a lot of people have had problems with, Game Freak rushing games and games not having enough time. I just feel that's not really Game Freak's fault. I think it's Nintendo telling Game Freak that you need to get a game out before this deadline, before this festive season, before this holiday season. And Game Freak really can't do much about that. So yeah, I feel a lot of the arguments just in general about the Pokemon franchise lately are pretty misinformed. But as much as I said about all the reviews we saw today, I do agree with some of the points. If I had to say some bad things about Legends Arceus, so if I do a real quick, just kind of summarize this video, do a quick pros and cons at the end. If I had to talk about the goods, the graphics in my opinion are pretty good. The move animations have definitely been improved, and the Pokemon battle animations in general have been improved in my opinion. The map is pretty huge, it's really fun to explore. The story is fun and it's different, I enjoyed it. And again, it's not the most polished shit ever, but it's pretty enjoyable. And the star system really encourages you to explore the world and go to different places and do different things, so I do enjoy that as well. Now talking about some of the bad things, one of my biggest complaints with Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I'm surprised that not many people are mentioning this, and this is something that Verlis mentioned and I very strongly agree with him on this. The battle mechanic is absolutely fucking terrible. It is disgusting. The whole strong style and agile style, half the time agile style doesn't do anything, and I know it's because moves have different priorities, but overall the battle mechanics is just so broken. They don't allow you to switch Pokemon when the opponent's Pokemon faints and they're sending out a new Pokemon, which half the time what ends up happening is you kill an opponent's Pokemon and they just send in a new Pokemon and it just outspeeds your Mon, and your Mon is pretty much dying. And this was just so annoying half the time. Whenever you open with a Pokemon that's not speedy, you're gonna get one-shotted almost all the time. I had such a terrible experience fighting Wallow because of this, and I remember after facing him like 7 to 8 times, I called up Hybrid. I'm like, listen bro, you need to get me through this. We spent about an hour and a half just optimizing my team to battle Wallow, and then I managed to take him out. So yeah, the battle mechanics are absolutely terrible in my opinion, and that gets me to grinding in this game is such a pain. Because here's the thing, when you battle a trainer, they give you experience at the end of the battle and not when you kill a Pokemon. So it's honestly harder to grind the Pokemon that you want to level up, because you're trying to keep them away from the battle so that they don't just end up getting one-shotted by the next Pokemon the trainer is going to send out. It's kind of like if you want a Pokemon to level up, you want to save them until the end of the battle when you finally get all the experience from the battle combined. And that just, it's terrible, bro. It's fucking terrible. And if I had to be nitpicky, I think I mentioned this before, but when you're going between the areas, you have to always go back to Jubilife Village. And okay, you didn't need to have seamless transitions between the areas, but at least when I'm done with an area, I can go talk to the professor or whoever's there and at least head over to the next area directly from there without having to go back to Jubilife and then talking to the guard at the gate and then going to the next region. Another minor complaint, the fly mechanic is pretty useless half the time. Like, you keep descending and losing altitude, and half the time cliffs get in your way and something or the other gets in your way. So yeah, that's again me being nitpicky, but overall I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I think it's a great Pokemon game, probably one of my top 5 Pokemon games. Even I think after Pokemon Platinum, this might be one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. But yeah, that's me reacting to some of the more negative reviews of Pokemon Legends Arceus. I was also originally planning to go on Twitter and see some opinions there, because you know Twitter has some of the best opinions, but I might actually just do that for an entirely different video. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's all for this video. I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I am planning to be a lot more consistent with content going forward. I don't have a particular upload schedule yet, but I am gonna try to get videos out constantly, so stay tuned for that. So once again, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.